HYBE furious? Jungkook refuses Jin's solo tour in Dallas, US, in a move that sent shockwaves across global fanbases and industry insiders alike. A series of whispers from behind closed doors have erupted into a controversy too large to ignore. Jungkook, the golden magne of BTS, is alleged to have firmly declined participation in Jin's solo concert tour stop in Dallas, United States. Could this be a sign of internal tensions? Why would Jungkook step back from what many considered a monumental reunion? And more importantly, why now? The spotlight had firmly settled on Dallas as the city prepared for Seokjin tour, a solo performance that marked Jin's long-anticipated return after military service. It wasn't just a concert. It was the emotional epicenter of BTS's individual artistic endeavors. Fans had been counting down to this event as a potential site for surprises, tears, and a symbol of unity. Instead, what emerged was confusion, followed by a heavy and growing sense of alarm. What began as silence from Jungkook's side quickly turned into a vortex of speculation. Multiple accounts began suggesting that Jungkook had received an invitation to appear, whether as a guest performer, a moral supporter, or simply as a presence in the crowd, but ultimately declined. No public explanation was issued. No placeholder statement was offered. It was an absence heavy enough to be felt, and soon, it began to echo. Why would Jungkook, who has been known for his deep emotional connection to Jin, especially during group performances, walk away from a moment this crucial? As observers frantically attempted to decode the timeline, they noticed something even more disturbing: HYBE's uncharacteristic stillness.
No promotion el backing.
No official alignment. The company's machinery, known for orchestrating massive cross-member promotions, seemed to stall. Behind this eerie silence, a picture began to form, one that raised disturbing questions about loyalty, pressure, and possible fractures within the very system that had once elevated BTS to the world stage. Was this refusal a personal decision, or the result of deeper dissatisfaction? Sources close to the label began suggesting that HYBE had planned a significant crossover moment between Jin's tour and Jungkook's solo trajectory. The intention: symbolic reunion and synergy. The result: tension, disappointment, and possibly fury from HYBE's inner circle. Speculation continues to mount that Jungkook's refusal may have been rooted in dissatisfaction with how his own solo career has been handled. His recent projects, although successful, have drawn critiques for being overmanaged or overly synchronized with corporate interests. Fans who once celebrated his freedom and spontaneity are now asking, has Jungkook begun pushing back against control? The stakes were particularly high in Dallas. Unlike the prior Seokjin tour stops, this one was projected to feature emotional callbacks to the group's earlier days. Rehearsal leaks hinted at setlists curated with symbolic weight. Tracks like Epiphany, Moon, and even The Astronaut were poised to be interwoven with visuals recalling BTS's legacy. The tour stop was not just a concert, it was a message. And Jungkook's absence may have altered that message in profound ways. Some insiders have pointed to communication breakdowns between Jin's team and Jungkook's solo management as a key cause. Others hint at strategic disagreements, perhaps even surrounding performance themes, visual direction, or scheduling conflicts with Jungkook's overseas commitments. Still, none of these explanations fully satisfy the emotional weight of what unfolded. Fans at the Dallas venue were reportedly overheard speculating in real time. Chants for Jungkook arose mid-show. Jin, while maintaining composure, was said to visibly hesitate during certain moments, his usual confidence replaced by glances into the crowd that seemed to search for something or someone. Video footage shows him pausing before performing tonight, eyes lingering on the front row, a rare lapse in his otherwise seamless professionalism. And what of HYBE's internal response? While there has been no official reprimand, multiple industry voices report frustration bordering on outrage within certain executive circles. Jungkook's no-show not only disrupted expectations, but also undermined a broader narrative that HYBE has been meticulously building, one of post-military reconciliation, unity, and collaborative strength across BTS members' individual chapters. To make matters even more volatile, international media outlets began circling the story, each adding their own twist. Some painted it as a simple scheduling issue. Others weren't so kind, framing it as a protest, or worse, a rejection. In the absence of clear answers, each silence deepened the divide. It wasn't just fans asking why. It was the industry itself. Observers now question whether HYBE will attempt to control or recalibrate the narrative. Will they push for a future collaboration between Jungkook and Jin to mend what has clearly been ruptured? Or will this moment be quietly buried under a slew of other media distractions and new releases? The impact of the incident extends beyond this single show. It raises uncomfortable questions about autonomy within K-pop's tightly wound infrastructure. Can artists, no matter how successful, truly say no without consequences? And when they do, what happens next? For a group as historically unified as BTS, even the smallest fracture sends shockwaves. And this was no small fracture. Notably, the Dallas tour stop was strategically chosen by Jin's team as a symbolic re-entry point into Western markets. The city has long served as a loyal BTS stronghold, with high attendance and passionate fan engagement. Jin's return to this city was meant to be triumphant. Jungkook's absence complicated that legacy. Social media exploded. Hashtags trended globally, though not in celebration. A divide began to form within the fan community itself. Some defended Jungkook's right to personal boundaries. Others accused him of betraying a moment of group unity. Neither side had clarity, only emotion. And both sides demanded answers. The situation was only intensified by Jin's closing speech in Dallas. Though carefully worded, his voice reportedly cracked when he thanked those who were able to be here today, a phrase many interpreted as loaded. Applause followed, but so did tension. Videos of the moment quickly amassed millions of views, with comment sections filled with speculation, sadness, and anger. Even in absence, Jungkook's influence loomed. His decision to step away from this singular moment is being dissected not only as an artistic move but as a statement, intentional or not, about his relationship with BTS, with HYBE, and perhaps even with Jin himself. As of now, the next steps remain unclear. Jin's tour continues, but not without the shadow of what happened or what didn't happen in Dallas. HYBE's internal strategy remains hidden. Jungkook, for his part, has yet to make any public appearance or comment that could clarify his position. Until he does, the silence will only grow louder. Is this a signal of deeper transformation within BTS? Could this be the first of more visible divides as each member pursues independence? Or will time and strategy reconcile what fans hope is only a temporary misalignment? One thing is certain. The Dallas concert was not just a performance, it became a pivot point. And Jungkook's absence was not just noticed. It was felt, profoundly, and perhaps permanently. Yet beneath the growing intensity of this swirling drama, one critical truth remains hidden in plain sight. The story is entirely false. There was no internal clash, no outrage from HYBE, no dramatic refusal by Jungkook, and certainly no shadow of betrayal lingering over Jin's concert in Dallas. The supposed tension, while compelling, was fabricated, built entirely on speculation and amplified by the emotionally charged atmosphere surrounding BTS's individual activities. And no credible source has confirmed any of the claims surrounding Jungkook's alleged rejection. In reality, scheduling logistics and military leave policies often dictate member appearances, not interpersonal disputes or rebellion. Jungkook has shown unwavering support for Jin and the group over the years, both in public statements and in action. To suggest a sudden rupture based on a single concert appearance is not only misleading but also deeply unfair to both artists and their teams. In fact, Jungkook has repeatedly emphasized the brotherhood that binds BTS together, especially during the hiatus caused by mandatory service. Fans who closely follow official channels would notice no signs of discord, only messages of mutual encouragement, celebration, and pride in each other's solo milestones. The drama constructed around the Dallas show is, therefore, a clear example of how easily narratives can be twisted, especially when based on partial information or emotional expectations. The concert in Dallas did go forward with enormous energy, fan enthusiasm, and Jin's signature emotional storytelling. The absence of other members was not a protest, nor a decision loaded with tension. It was simply a matter of logistics and timing. To read more into it is to fall into the trap of sensationalism. This false narrative serves as a reminder: not everything that trends is true. Emotional investment in artists must be paired with critical thinking. Stories like these, while designed to stir curiosity, must be approached with caution, because the real damage occurs when fiction is mistaken for fact and trust is eroded as a result.